Joining us now is Democratic Congressman Mike Quigley. He is a member of the House Intelligence Committee, which is spearheading the impeachment investigation. Congressman, I'm glad you're here because I want to get a sense of where things are going. First and foremost, tomorrow, scheduled to testify before your committee or speak with your committee behind closed doors is Marie Yovanovitch, who was the ambassador to Ukraine. What do you know about her testimony tomorrow?
Well, I went all the way to D.C. Monday to hear the testimony of the EU ambassador Tuesday morning and was disappointed. Perhaps I'm naive, but I'm going there again today, and I hope to hear the ambassador's testimony tomorrow. Obviously, we'd like to know the circumstances of her departure. Why was she fired? And what did she know firsthand or from others about the early pressure campaigns brought by this administration on Ukraine, and did she learn of other issues and pressures after she left?
You are beginning to issue subpoenas. We are told there will be several, if not many, more subpoenas to people connected to the White House and the administration. What will the committee do if these subpoenas are dismissed or ignored?
I think we're going to act with a deliberate urgency, and we're going to be prudent and smart. If we have to go to court on certain matters to enforce them, we will. I do want to say this at the onset, though. The public record details more than enough evidence to file articles of impeachment. We have the Volcker text messages. We have the whistleblower's complaint and the transcript issued by the White House and the president's own remarks, and a 3-year history of obstruction off-detailed by the special counsel's report. So we're going to go forward because the American public has a right to know exactly what's taken place.
Will you wait for courts to decide on the subpoenas? If you take them to court to enforce the subpoenas, will you wait on the courts to decide before holding a vote on impeachment?
Look, for me, it is a day-by-day experience. I think what we've witnessed last week, which was a surprise to many with the Volcker text, we're going to be surprised on almost a daily basis. We're going to be smart about this. We're going to follow the evidence wherever it takes us. Decisions on those other matters will depend on the larger circumstances. But right now, what matters is finding out what we can and moving forward so the American public finds out exactly what took place.
There is no constitutional requirement for the House to vote to launch an impeachment inquiry. The president's team in his letter is calling on the House to do so and also calling for some rights in the investigation. And yesterday, some people are looking at a statement he made as some kind of a promise or guarantee that if the House gives him what he wants, he might cooperate. Listen to what he said.
They held a vote in the full House, and the vote were to authorize. Would you cooperate?
Well, we would if they give us our rights. It depends.
We would if they give us our rights, the president says. What's your level of trust that if you do hold a House vote to launch the impeachment inquiry, that the White House would cooperate?
Yeah, the White House hasn't cooperated from day one. I was there 3 years ago when this investigation began. I saw the letter this week where they said they aren't going to cooperate anymore, which is news to us. I guess they just made it official. I can't think of an instance in which they cooperated with the Russian investigation. To imagine that they would go forward and act in good faith would be extraordinarily naive. We have to act as if they're going to continue in this process and move forward accordingly. It's not just that it's not in the Constitution that we hold such a vote. It's not in any law. It's not in any House rule. This is distraction. This is deflection. This is the president trying to lean on process when the facts and the law work against him.
Democrat John Garamendi yesterday told CNN that he would be perfectly in favor of the full House voting on the inquiry. Would you support such a vote?
I came out in favor of an impeachment inquiry some time ago. I have said that I thought the president abused his powers, but I won't let the president use this as deflection. Our committee and others have to go forward, regardless of whether or not the House takes a vote. It is simply the president using deflection and attempting to use political gain to pressure, in his mind, some Democrats on how it affect their election.
Let me ask you about a bit of news that was reported overnight. This came out of Bloomberg. It has to do with the president allegedly pressuring the former Secretary of State to stop an investigation that Rudy Giuliani was connected to. It comes from Bloomberg. Let me read this to you. President Donald Trump pressed then Secretary of State Rex Tillerson to help persuade the Justice Department to drop a criminal case against an Iranian-Turkish gold trader who was a client of Rudy Giuliani. That's according to 3 people familiar with a 2017 meeting in the Oval Office. To what extent will this be part of your investigation?
I think you have to look at this as part of a pattern of behavior. The president has said publicly he believes the DOJ should do whatever he says. This is an autocratic notion that he can tell them who to prosecute and who not to prosecute, and that he is above the law. I mean, all these elements and all these behaviors should be part of the overall congressional oversight of the President of the United States, abusing his powers, arguing that he is above the law. Any one particular case shouldn't outshine the other.
Congressman Mike Quigley, thank you for being with us this morning. Please keep us posted as you travel to Washington to let us know if this hearing tomorrow is in fact happening. Appreciate it.